Paul Newman is Butch Cassidy. And the Sundance Kid is Robert Redford. Catherine Ross is Etta Place.
Dynamite's ready, Butch.
Well, that ought to do it.
Think you use enough dynamite there, Butch?
Most of this is true, and all of it blazes with action. You've never met a pair like Butch and Sundance.
Well, we're back in business, boys and girls.
Outlaws with style, in a class all their own.
You know, when I was a kid, I always thought I was going to grow up to be a hero.
Don't tell me how to rob a bank. I know how to rob a bank.
And anything you ask of me, I'll do. Except one thing. I won't watch you die.
You just keep thinking, Butch. That's what you're good at.
An incredible pair of rugged adventurers, creating a living legend on 2 continents.
But it's just one guy.
Don't you get sick of being right all the time?
They rob trains,
Stop it.
looted banks,
Manos arriba! They got him up!
Ah, you're so damn smart, you read it.
and one girl shared their love and larceny.
Raindrops keep falling on my head. And just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head.
What are you doing?
Stealing your woman?
Take her.
Boy, you're a romantic bastard, I'll give you that.
Then, Mr. E.H. Harriman of the Union Pacific put the top lawman in the West on their trail.
They're very good.
If he'd just pay me what he's spending to make me stop robbing him, I'd stop robbing him.
They were outlaws, running out of time and out of space, and a changing world was closing in on them. From the American West to New York, to the dangerous new frontier of Bolivia.
Bolivia.
Well, he'll feel a lot better after he's robbed a couple of banks.
I'll jump first.
Then you jump first.
No, I said.
What's the matter with you?
His name was Jeremiah Johnson. They say he wanted to be a mountain man. Nobody knows whereabouts he come from, and don't seem to matter much. He was a young man, and ghosty stories about the tall hills didn't scare him none. Bought him a good horse and traps and another truck that went with being a mountain man, and just said goodbye to whatever life was down there below. Here's his story.
Robert Redford as Jeremiah Johnson.
Jeremiah Johnson made his way into the mountains.
I know who you are. You're the same dumb pilgrim I've been hearing for 20 days and smelling for 3.
Betting on forgetting all the troubles that he knew.
Take him.
What?
Take him.
Ma'am, I wouldn't know how to tend after it.
The trail was wide and narrow. The eagle or the sparrow showed the path he was to follow.
Are you all right?
Sure. I got a fine horse under me.
A mountain man's a lonely man, and he leaves a lot behind.
How's the war going? Which war?
It ought to have been different, but you oftentimes will find that the story doesn't always go the way you had in mind.
If you value your hair, you will get married.
kind.
He was a man the Indians prayed to and cursed and tried to kill. Robert Redford as Jeremiah Johnson. Some say he's dead. Some say he never will be.
Jeremiah's story was that kind.
She picked him clean. He never missed it.
Remember that Sting experience? How good you felt? Now, The Sting, winner of 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, is back.
Chicago was the place to be in 1936. In those days, the big con was a dying art, until a first-class grifter on the lam from the FBI and a young gaffer from Joliet joined forces to con the Big Mick.
He's not as tough as he thinks.
Neither are we.
Paul Newman is Henry Gondorff. There wasn't a con he couldn't run, and there wasn't a sucker he couldn't gaff. Robert Redford is Johnny Hooker, a young grifter with plenty of moxie.
$3 grand on the red, Jimmy.
But he's a sucker for Lady Luck.
Tough luck, kid.
And a sap for Lady Love.
Thanks for the big evening, Hooker. Next time you want to spend $50 on me, mail it.
Come on, will you?
Robert Shaw is the Mark. In the underworld, he's the Big Mick.
Name's Lonergan. Doyle Lonergan.
It starts with the setup.
You owe me 15 grand, pal.
Then you bait the hook.
Your boss is quite a card player, Mr. Kelly. How does he do it?
He cheats.
You play him on the wire.
The wire's been out of date for 10 years. That's why he won't know it.
Now he's ready for the sting.
He's there. Let's get on it.
Listen to me. Don't go back to your place tonight. $500,000 to win. Lucky Dan.
Paul Newman and Robert Redford. This time, they might get away with it.
Unit 1 to Unit 2.
What?
We're home.
Base 1 to Unit 1. Base 1 to Unit 1.
Hold it, you mother! Hold it, police!
There's been a break-in at Democratic headquarters. They were bugging the place.
Woodward, Bernstein, you're both on the story now. Don't get up.
Redford.
I'm Bob Woodward of the Washington Post. Mr. Markham, are you here in connection with the Watergate burglary?
I'm not here.
Hoffman.
Hi, this is Carl Bernstein of the Washington Post, and I was just wondering if you can remember...
All the President's Men. The story of the two young reporters who cracked the Watergate conspiracy.
White House.
Howard Hunt, please.
He might be in Mr. Colson's office.
Who's Charles Colson? Did you know, Howard Hunt?
Well, the White House said he was doing some investigative work.
What do you say?
They stumbled into leads.
Certainly it comes as no surprise to you that Howard was with the CIA.
No surprise at all.
They tripped over clues.
We'd like to see all the material requested by the White House.
All White House transactions are confidential.
This whole thing is a cover-up. It's right on our nose.
And piece by piece, they solve the greatest detective story in American history.
There is no way the White House can control the investigation.
I don't want to say any more, okay?
Have you been threatened if you tell the truth?
Is there a cover-up?
Don't you understand what you're on to?
Mitchell knew?
Of course, Mitchell knew.
Woodward! Bernstein! Get in here!
At times, it looked as if it might cost them their jobs.
You guys are about to write a story that says the former Attorney General, the highest-ranking law enforcement officer in this country, is a crook.
Their reputations.
Why is the Post trying to do it? I don't know.
Perhaps even their lives.
Someday when people look at me, they'll say, there goes Roy Hobbs, the best there ever was.
TriStar Pictures presents Robert Redford in The Natural, the story of a father and a son.
You got a gift, Roy, but it's not enough.
Of love.
He means the world to me.
And desire.
I'm not waiting for true love to come along, Roy.
A champion.
A Roy Hobbs comes along once, maybe twice in everybody's lifetime.
And his destiny.
With or without the records, they'll remember you.
Best there is now, and best there ever will be.
I wouldn't bet against me.
I already have.
Robert Redford, Robert Duvall, Glenn Close, Kim Basinger, Wilford Brimley, Barbara Hershey, Robert Prosky, and Richard Farnsworth as Red. The Natural.
It's an odd feeling, farewell. Men go off to be tested for courage. And if we are tested at all, it's for patience, for doing without. And I'd always known that.
Is life really so damn simple for you?
Perhaps I ask less of it than you do.
I don't believe that at all.
Next time you change your mind, you do it with your money.
They bought your title, Baronessa. They didn't buy me.
You might have asked Dennis.
I did. She said yes.
Doesn't it matter to you that I'm another man's wife?
What matters to me is that you tried so hard, and that you're alone now. Lay your head back.
Through the eyes of a woman who wouldn't be owned.
Why is your freedom more important than mine?
It isn't. And I've never interfered with your freedom.
From the spirit of a man who couldn't be tamed.
When did you learn to fly?
Yesterday.
Out of a land of beauty, mystery, and majesty. Out
of Africa.
It's not the pale that excites me.
Excuse me? Would you mind lending me your wife?
Excuse me?
For luck. What do we got to lose? I got money, I got security, I have businesses, but you have something that I just don't have.
Well, I guess there's limits to what money can buy.
Not many.
Some things aren't for sale.
Such as?
But you can't buy people.
So what are you saying? You can't buy love? That's a bit of a cliche, don't you think?
It's absolutely true.
Well, let's test the cliche. Suppose I were to offer you $1 million for one night with your wife.
David, I think you want me to do it.
Why, do you want to do it?
No. But I would. I'd do it for you. Think about what this money could do for us. What it could do for our future. It's just my body. It's not my mind. It's not my heart.
You might enjoy it.
Don't bet on it.
And if you were mine, I wouldn't share you with anyone.
It was sex, David. Just sex, not love. Just sex.
Hey! Now, the evening would come and go, but the money could last a lifetime. Think of it. $1 million. For one night.